Today, we're going to make some thick, hearty beef stew. You ever go to those restaurants and their beef stew is so thick and has so much flavor, and you go home and you make it and it's just all runny and tasteless? I'm going to show you how they do it. First, we're going to start off with some beef chuck. Got about a 2-pound beef chuck right there. Got it cut up into, about inch cubes, just whatever you want. That's not important, the size. And we're going to put that in the skillet, caramelize it, get that Maillard reaction, get it all nice and colored up. When you do that, you just want to you don't want to fill your pot. Just few at a time. You don't want them touching in there, otherwise they'll steam and not caramelize. We're going to go in with some potatoes, some onion, carrot, celery. I got some peas and carrot frozen mix I like putting in there. And we're also going to go salt, pepper, thyme. I'm going to use some homemade beef stock, just a hair bit of garlic, a sprinkle of flour, a couple bay leaves, and a serrano pepper, just because why not? So we're going to throw this in the pot and get that all seared up. See, we're not trying to cook anything thoroughly right now. We're just trying to caramelize it, brown it all up. Now on the beef, that will add a lot of flavor and color to your stews. On the potatoes, that'll just add body so they don't break down while they're cooking for so many hours. I do that all the time when I'm going to be throwing potatoes in a stew like this. And we're going to finish browning all these up. We'll be back to put it together. Now, we got the meat and potatoes done how I want them. So now we need to sweat these vegetables. Let's start with carrots, because they're going to take the longest. I turn the heat down just a little. Throw them right back into this pot after you take everything out. I'm going to throw in my celery and my onion. Now remember, we're trying to just get these started. They're going to be in this pot cooking for a couple hours, about 3 hours. Usually it only takes 2. Really, you only need to cook it as long as you're satisfied with how done everything is. We're going to give these just a few minutes to sweat out. And then add everything else. Okay. Let's add our peas and carrots. Our peas. I threw in my serrano just to get it started. These onions are about to where we want them. I don't want to caramelize the onions. I just want to get them sweated down and translucent. I'm going to add a lot of black pepper. I love pepper. A little bit of thyme. I like my beef stew to have a little bit of earthiness to it. I'm going to throw in a couple bay leaves. The heat in the pan and the oils, it'll wake up all those spices. They'll just come alive. And that's what we want. We just want to wake them up. I'm not going to add any salt because there's salt in my broth that I'm going to dump in. And I've got that little secret about how professional French chefs make this that make it so good. I'm going to share that with you. So we're going to give these just a minute to go. All right, those are pretty much ready. Now let's add some garlic. I'm just going a little bit of garlic. I don't want a big garlicky taste. Maybe a teaspoon there. You just want to cook that garlic for about 30 seconds or so in there. Keep it moving around. I don't want to burn that garlic. Now, this is the point where generally you would want to add a couple tablespoons tomato paste. We're not putting that in. Let me show you why. Well, I took about 15 pounds of beef bone, and I make my own beef stock. Beef stock, or stock in general, has no seasoning in it. I boiled that for about 10 hours to make my stock. And from my stock, you can make beef broth. Broth has seasoning. So this came out of my stock. The secret French chefs use in high-end restaurants is they then take their stock and they make demi-glace. Demi-glace is a condensed version of stock. This has got not only all the beef and seasoning, it's also got the tomato and red wine already in it. So all you got to do is add a couple cubes of that while I make it, and then I uh, condensed it real low, put it in some ice cube trays, and put it in my freezer. So anytime I'm doing something like this, or whatever other beef dishes I want a rich broth for, then you use your demi-glace. Saves you a lot of steps at the time. Okay, now we're going to drop our meat back in here. Get everything nice and mixed up. And this is the point we're going to come in with a little bit of flour. Our flour, obviously, is what's going to thicken it. So right here, I got maybe a third of a cup. And we just want to cook that flour into all our stuff. That is what's going to give our stew so much thickness when we're done. We don't, however, want to taste the flour, so we got to make sure we cook that down in there before we add anything else. like I say, this is, make it however you want. This is more or less the French style version, and this is how I like it best. It comes out so thick, so rich. What else is good is to throw a little beer in there, maybe a bottle of Guinness. I use Guinness in when I make like a meat pie or something, and we'll do a video on that eventually. And I'll do one to show you how to make demi-glace, because I'm telling you, if you start doing stuff like demi-glace, it's a game changer in your cooking. It is a huge game changer. All right. It only takes a minute to cook out that flour. So we are going to go ahead and add our potatoes. Oop, that's my carrots. Carrot down, carrot down. Okay. This smells so good. That's where we're at. Now, we're going to come back in with my homemade broth. And cover up. Okay. We're going to bring that to a boil, and then we're going to let it simmer for a couple hours. And then after a couple hours, I'm going to throw in a couple of leaves of basil, just because I like basil. In the meantime, while that's simmering, you want to check it periodically. First of all, you don't want your water level getting too low. And secondly, that the flour and the potato starch is going to burn a little bit on the bottom. So you want to come back in, just keep making sure that's not getting like really, really thick on the bottom. So that's it. We're going to bring that to a boil, cover it, and let it simmer for a couple hours, checking every 20-30 minutes. Make sure the water level is right. And here in about 3 hours, we are going to have one very good beef stew. Okay, that boiled about 3 hours, simmered about 3 hours, and that is our finished product, folks. Got a nice, thick, hearty beef stew. Didn't even need to add any more salt. Already had salt enough in it. Happy cooking.